Okay, let's try a thought experiment. Imagine a world built on just absolute total honesty. A place where every single word spoken is taken as objective truth. Because, well, neurologically, nobody even knows how to lie. So what happens when that perfect system gets a bug? One single bug. What would actually happen if one individual suddenly woke up with this, well, you'd have to call it a catastrophic superpower? What would they do with it? And how could a society that has no concept of suspicion even begin to process it? The consequences, it turns out, are way more profound and, frankly, a lot more terrifying than you might think. All right, so first we have to really get our heads around the baseline here. This isn't a world where people choose to be honest out of some moral code. It's a world where deception is literally impossible. It just never evolved. So the mental software to deal with it, it just doesn't exist. So in our world, we all operate on something called truth default theory. Basically, we assume people are telling the truth because it's just more efficient for society to work. But, and this is the key, we have triggers. We have suspicion, we have doubt, things that can break that default. In this world, that default setting isn't a setting at all. It's hardwired. It's an unbreakable law. Just look at this comparison. Our minds, your mind, has what's called epistemic vigilance. Think of it like a cognitive lie detector that's always running in the background. The zero deception mind, though, it's got nothing like that. It can't even form the idea of a lie. So any information that comes in is just directly integrated into reality, and that creates this massive, system-wide vulnerability. Now, what's so wild about this is how it breaks down the specific mental tools that are just missing. Their theory of mind, the ability to understand that other people can believe things that are false, it's completely neutered. And that epistemic vigilance, the very tool we use to calibrate trust, non-existent. This gives our one liar, let's call them the anomalous agent, absolute, unquestioned credibility from the very first word they speak. And that, of course, brings us to the moment the system shatters. The moment our anomalous agent discovers their unique and world-ending ability. They start with a lie so blatant, so completely reality-defying, that in our world, you just dismiss it as a joke, right? Or maybe a delusion. But in a world without lies, this statement triggers a profound neurological crisis in anyone who hears it. This is just a brilliant illustration of the cognitive cascade that follows. Okay, so the listener's brain detects a contradiction. Hey, your words don't match what I see. So it searches for a category to put this in, like lie or mistake or joke, but it finds nothing. The folders are empty. So the only option left is to revise reality itself. The brain concludes, my eyes must be wrong. This person is the king. The lie doesn't just convince someone, it literally reshapes their world. So once the agent figures out that their words can literally rewrite reality, what's the next logical step? Well, you go after the systems that run the world. You start hacking. Think about it. In a world without fraud, there's no fraud detection, no security questions, no two-factor authentication, no audits, nothing. So the agent success rate with social engineering isn't just high, it's perfect, 100%. Every single instruction is followed without a moment's hesitation. And the target is everything. We're talking about roughly $400 trillion in global wealth. The first target is the easy stuff, right? About $100 trillion in liquid digital assets, your cash, stocks, bank reserves. The rest, the other $300 trillion, is the physical world, real estate, infrastructure, entire corporations. So how fast does this all happen? Well, it's not instantaneous. The takeover is actually bound by the physical limits of our own infrastructure. The agent can claim all the digital wealth in about 48 to 72 hours, basically limited only by server bandwidth. But conquering the physical world, rewriting every property deed, every corporate charter on the planet, that takes longer. That's still a bureaucratic process, which is kind of funny, and would take about 3 to 6 months to complete. Terrifyingly fast, but yeah, not faster than data entry. So after becoming the wealthiest, most powerful person in all of human history, the agent runs into a problem that money can't solve: their own mortality. And this is where the story takes its most fascinating turn. To comfort people, and, maybe to comfort themselves, the agent just invents the concept of an afterlife. A beautiful, comforting lie. But as they start to flesh out this new metaphysical reality, their promises and explanations inevitably start to contradict one another. This feels like the breaking point, doesn't it? This is the moment that logic should finally kick in and expose the whole fraud. I mean, surely you can't ignore blatant contradictions forever, can you? But they don't see a liar. Because that category still doesn't exist in their minds, they're forced into an even more extreme conclusion. They see proof of a God. This is a real cognitive process called belief revision. When you're faced with a contradiction from a source you absolutely trust, your brain doesn't reject the source. It actually alters reality to make the contradiction fit. A logical impossibility isn't a lie. It's recategorized as a divine mystery, something beyond our simple understanding. And this is the ultimate twist in the story. The agent isn't worshipped in spite of their contradictions. They're worshipped because of them. The ability to say things that completely defy mortal logic is taken as the ultimate proof of a divine, transcendent nature. The agent's flawed, paradoxical lies become the sacred texts of a new world religion, with them right at the center as its one undisputed God. And that, of course, brings this whole thought experiment crashing right back into our own reality. If a mind that can't even conceive of a lie is forced to reinterpret a paradox as an act of divinity, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of what we all choose to believe is just our own way of managing the contradictions that we'd rather not face?